open session. I guess you all who follow us are getting used to long executive sessions. Hope you made productive use of the time. We're going to take up item 3 now, and I'm going to read this script. The Board of Trustees of the California Online Community College District is happy to announce its decision to select Ari Badr Natal as Chief Technology Officer for the district. The board will now vote on the contract for Mr. Badr Natal. Under California law, as the board president, I am obligated to orally announce all the monetary provisions of this contract and the values of the same. Once I announce the monetary benefits of this employment agreement and the associated values, the board will vote on the agreement. The agreement is for an 18-month term and provides for a base salary of $270,000 provided annually. Membership in CalPERS and related employer contribution is set by statute, and health benefits is currently offered to current administrative employees. And the contract is in the packet that was available to the public. Is that correct? And so with that, I'll take a motion to approve the contract.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote.
Tom, can you tell me who did the motion and second? I couldn't see.
Oh, it was Mr. Baum and Mr. Walker Griffin.
Darius Anderson,
Yes.
Arnaldo Avalos,
Yes.
Jeff Baum,
Aye.
Connie Conway,
Yes.
Amy Costa,
Aye.
Tom Epstein,
Aye.
Pam Haynes,
Aye.
Kevin Hall,
Aye.
Jennifer Perry, Mon Fon,
Aye.
Bill Rawlings,
Aye.
Valerie Shaw,
Yes.
Blas Villalobos, Alexander Walker Griffin.
Aye.
Okay, and we have a second employee of the Online Community College District. Yay.
Yay.
Is he here? There. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry if I butchered your name. Pardon me? A member
Elena
Grande
Grande.
was not. Oh,
Sorry if I missed her.
Did you get your vote in?
yeah. Okay.
No, it's not too late, is it? Can you take her vote, please?
Yes, Jolena Grande.
Aye.
Okay, on to item 4, the contract for executive searches with the Leadership Group, Inc. I will turn it over to the CEO to discuss this.
Yes. As I had shared with you all earlier, we are seeking to hire a group of executives to advance the organization, to build out the organization that we've been talking about, both the college and the district. And there are 6 positions in which I need significant support from a recruiter to hire, to fill. The first position is a Chief Product and Marketing Officer. The second is a Chief Financial and Administrative Officer. The third being a Chief Learning Officer. Fourth being Chief Partnerships, was called Chief of Workforce Programs. 5, Chief Success Officer, and 6, Chief People Officer. And the recruitment firm has, at least this recruiter of the firm has 15 years of experience in recruiting people in positions of education companies and in educational organizations, as well as technology positions, both B2C and enterprise technology positions. And I have negotiated a cap of $92,000 per individual search, which may not be hit in that we're looking at the standard market rate search amount of 33 1/3%, but we wanted to make sure that there was a cap so that if a person were recruited that was earning more than the 92,000, than 270,000, that the 92,000 would not be exceeded. And I think it's a very difficult set of searches to do, in that we're looking for non-traditional candidates throughout a very large state. Somebody who has the technical chops to do these roles and has very senior level experience, but on the other hand has a social mission at heart and understands the challenges that our target populations face. And it was very important to me that we find somebody who has cultural competence, who can talk about the different kinds of rigors and responsibilities for each position. Somebody who would work with me in fleshing out these appropriate job descriptions, for example. And in addition to the recruitment, the recruitment firm would actually also do benchmarking. And again, this is going to be complicated because some of these positions sound like corporate positions so that they can have parallels and peers that business community recognizes. But on the other hand, like I said, understands the needs of the target population and working within a public community and a public institutional kind of set of capabilities and restraints, and can maneuver within those as well. So I think that these are going to be very challenging positions, and I talked to a number of different search firms to find this firm to do the work.
Okay, any board comments, any questions? Member Grande?
I was just wondering how we might be able to superimpose these 6 on top of the draft org chart. I just want to make sure that I have them correct.
Yeah, they, I think I can do that for you. So, the number 1, Chief Product and Marketing Officer would handle product management, comms, and marketing. The Chief Financial and Administrative Officer would oversee finance administration. That we may get to a point where we actually need to bring in a general counsel type person, but I don't think at this stage we need. That's not a burning priority. Then for the Chief Learning Officer, learning and accreditation and that bucket would be kind of covered by them. The Chief Partnerships would oversee employment and placement. Our CTO that we now have on board handles R&D, engineering, and technology. And then the Chief People Officer would oversee people and culture, and that is, I know it's different from your traditional HR position, but that's essentially what it is, with a lot of embedded commitment to equity, inclusion, and diversity. And the Chief Success Officer would be adult learner success.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think Member Avalos? Oh, it was Member Vaughn, okay.
Mr. President, if I understand correctly, our action for this item is to spend north of $500,000 to hire a search firm to recruit 6 positions. And I'm a bit troubled by this because I don't know if you all know, but I know nothing about the search firm. And I don't know if we can be provided with some information on the search firm, and besides this search firm, if other search firms have been considered. And rather than me trying to Google at the last minute before I vote to find out about the search firm and the history or the capacity of the firm. So I don't know if I'm ready to vote on this item absent information of the search firm that we're trying to spend up $500,000. So I think that's kind of my comment. I don't know if others have, but I'm kind of ambivalent about it, to be honest.
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, we have a sense of urgency about building the team so that we can get going. And I believe it's within my purview to vet the different potential vendors and to recommend to you who I believe we should engage with. I think trying to kind of provide you information with every vendor that I look at just seems like an untenable way to operate moving forward. I am recommending the firm that I believe not only has decades-long experience in the recruitment business, but also has the cultural competency to recruit the right talent. And I'm asking you if you would please make a vote today so that I could proceed to hiring these people.
Any other comments from the board? You know, we haven't had any public comments today. I haven't gotten any sheets. Is there anyone? Oh, Member Baum, sorry.
One of the things I just wanted to point out, though, too, as an online community college district, I think it's going to be very important that we try to conduct as much of our work in as transparent way as possible, and to reaffirm our commitment to, whenever possible, that we go through an open bidding process and an RFQ process or an RFP process to show that the process for selection has been transparent. So I'm balancing that desire and that principle with also the urgency we have to, as I said in our previous conversation, to get this thing off the ground and up and running. So, but I do want to state for the public record that our standard operating procedure should be on any major contract has been gone through a public process, even if we're legally allowed to go through to award a contract without with a sole source provider. But that's something I just want to state that when possible, we should always have a public process for that we can demonstrate the decision making for the board. But I understand also the urgency we have at this time too.
Any other board comments?
As a point of clarification, just trying to figure out if we were not to vote on this right now, on this particular search agency or search firm, you know, is there a way to streamline it, bring it back to the board in a streamlined way, Tom? Is there a way to do that, or how would that work? Because I mean, what I think what's really important for me, if it's the executive team, but I think it's really important to me is that, you know, that we have, you know, board, you know, consensus on this, and that that, you know, this is a significant contract that we're engaging in, and significant dollar amounts for this new agency or this new community college, online community college. So I just want to make sure that we're all aligned and we all have good perspective on that.
Trustee Costa.
You know, I'm willing to vote on this item because I think, you know, as we discussed earlier, we have a statutory deadline, and there's some concern about our ability to get this cohort enrolled as the law specifies. And I don't know that I necessarily want to wait for it to come back before this body, which I think would really hamstring our new president in getting the key positions in place. I think if the rest of the board is having heartburn around it, I might suggest through the president that the executive committee hear the item as a special item, so that we can still have, you know, the expediency that the president needs on this item. I don't know where everyone's at, but that might be a potential compromise for your consideration.
Okay. Any other board comments? We apparently do have some public comment. Sorry, go ahead, Trustee Villalobos.
I do agree with Board Member Costa. I do share your same concern. I think that we are going to be voting on an agency that we may not necessarily know very much about. However, not doing so today is going to put our new president in a very tough position with a deadline that is right around the corner. So I do agree with you. I think the executive committee, if we are going to be concerned about it as a group, should at least be able to hear and listen to the recommendations that are being made.
Curious to hear from any other members of the board on this this proposal. Mr. Rawlings?
I'm actually kind of echoing a number of comments here. I think Member Baum hit, I think, an important point. We want to conduct ourselves in a way that is as transparent as possible and really demonstrate our fiduciary responsibilities to the taxpayers. But I'm comfortable with voting today on the search firm. The dollar amount is a big dollar amount, especially we take a look at up to $92,000 per search and then the salary of the people on top of that. But we are doing something different. We're doing something new. I don't know the company. I trust the CEO in selecting a team that she can work well with. But I think, even if we took a look at where we might have cost savings in the contract, I think really moving forward, this will be a small percentage of a very large bucket of funding that will be able to, by moving quickly, be able to realize a better use of the dollars moving forward.
Any other board comments?
I do, Tom. So I share Member Fan and Member Baum's concerns about it. Unfortunately, we are under hard deadlines. We've got to get going, and we have to place trust in the CEO. But I do have concerns about the fact that I don't know much about the firm, and it's a significant amount of money that we're about to expend. So my question then is, Member Costa's suggestion that perhaps an executive committee could review the issue, and if we did do that, what's the timeline for that? And would that negatively impact the CEO's ability to move forward?
Well, the next trustee or the next executive committee meeting is roughly a month from now. I'm not sure exactly what day it is.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I'm looking to council. You might be able to make a special meeting of the executive committee.
The next meeting is April 8th, officially, which is, I guess, about 3 weeks.
As a point of information, my hope was, and it's one of the reasons why I felt like this search firm went through a lot of changes in their queue of priorities and searches to bring this on, is that I was hoping to present a slate of candidates to you by the May board meeting. But in order to do that, we have to get job descriptions out and really work at a pretty aggressive clip.
I think maybe it would be helpful, CEO Hiles, to describe a little bit about the process you used to identify this firm, among others, and what the background is, since it's not included in our packet.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, moving forward, we'll have better information and a better agenda, kind of tighter process. This is my first time at kind of preparing you all, and we should have included more of their firm's information. Essentially, the leadership group has, I think, on the whole, over 25 years of experience doing recruitment and searches. In particular, the recruiter that we're working with, Carolyn Carpernetti, has 15 years of experience doing recruitment in the areas of education, as well as in the areas of technology. And sometimes those overlap, and sometimes they're separate. We have, I got another formal bid from one other search firm. And I also observed and spoke with the recruitment search firm that recruited me, and though have worked with, what I did in the process of talking with them was talk through this organizational chart and the needs and the mission of this organization, just because it's so unusual to a typical search. And tried to find people who could understand the different demands of the different sectors, and then gave them draft kind of more traditional job descriptions and ask for their thoughts about how they would recommend making those come to life with the challenges that are before us.
Okay. Any other board comments? Okay, do we have public comments?
Can I?
You can make a public comment. Of course, you didn't speak up.
Well, I was trying to wait. I was trying to wait till all of my colleagues spoke and to hear their perspectives. And at the core of this, for me, and I think for some of my colleagues, and I don't want to speak for you, is we're in uncharted territory. We're building something from the ground up that nobody has done before. And besides that, we're doing it using technology that in some cases hasn't even been created. And so with that, we two things. We need to ask the right questions, but we also need to recognize our own fears in this process, because I think that's the discomfort that we're sort of working with. We went through a huge deliberative process in trying to select the right person as our CEO to build this. Most of us come into organizations and institutions that have already been built. And then what we try to do is try to fix all of the challenges that are embedded within years and years of institutional history and custom. And so, and I think that some of that is, we're trying to overlay some of that in this new endeavor. We need to ask those questions, but I really encourage us to sort of look beyond that in what we really are trying to accomplish with regard to this new endeavor of creating a people's process for those who don't get a voice, for those who have walked away from our institutions, and to use technology and the creative minds of a lot of folks trying to work on this. So I'm going to support this, and I'm going to, and I think that what I heard from not only my colleagues is the need to make certain that we have this information. I'm losing my voice. I'm sorry. That we try to the best of our ability to bring some of this information forward, so that we get to see it sort of as we're building it. I think that's legitimate. But we also need to make certain that we're moving this process along. And so I am supporting this as is. I know that our CEO will bring forward more information, but we are under a timeline, and I think it's critical that, given the information we do have on this next step, that we provide some support for the CEO. Thank you.
Okay, are there any public comments on this item 4?
Yes, there are two. The first one is Lynette Niaga. Niaga. Okay. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I appreciate all the comments from the members of the Board of Trustees, and I can see that you understand the complexities of this particular step. My concern is you are building this from the ground up. So one of the things you always want to do when you build from the ground up is create a culture of transparency and accountability. This is probably not the best way to start. I think that many of you already know how boards of trustees work. I certainly do. And one of the things that boards have to balance is, the need for moving forward with the need for keeping the public apprised of what they're doing. Remembering that this $500,000 is not yours. It belongs to the taxpayers of California. And when I think of how many students could be financed with $500,000, I worry that this amount of money is excessive. Remember, and I know that there's speed involved, I understand that, but remember that we are always responsible to our citizens, and that the spotlight is on you. This is a very uncomfortable position for you all to be in. And knowing that, you probably want to start out with decisions that are clearly understand the necessity for this transparency. I also am concerned, does the search firm understand community colleges? Especially, I've expressed this concern before, especially the person who is going to be in charge of faculty and hiring. That person has to have some faculty experience. That person has to have been a faculty member at some point. Without that understanding, it's going to be very difficult for that person to actually hire the right people. So these are my two concerns. I decided to throw in the faculty one because
30 seconds.
I haven't seen any indication of who you're hiring, but please, Board of Trustees, don't hire a person in charge of faculty who has never been faculty in a California community college. They can be great in technology, but they have to understand faculty. Thanks.
The next card is John Stanskus. He'll tell us who he represents.
I represent you. No. Good morning. It's nice to meet you, President Hiles, and members of the Board of Trustees. My name is John Stanskus. I am the president of the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to welcome our new CEO for our 73rd district. I also wanted to make clear that we are ready, willing, and able to be your voice of faculty in academic and professional matters. Before you came on, President Hiles, the Academic Senate has sent forward 5 faculty with experience in governance, curriculum, and online education to serve as a resource for this district until such a time as you have tenured full-time faculty who can organize themselves in such a way as to advise you appropriately as the Board of Trustees. And I think that those individuals are ready, willing, and able to help with board policy development, the curriculum approval processes you may wish to put into place to review curriculum and to provide that faculty perspective with that balance of views, particularly with online education that may be helpful to you as you move forward. One of the positions you mentioned was about accreditation and learning and being responsible for that. And another one was something around human resources, but these people may also be useful in any hiring process that you may design that would benefit from the viewpoint of faculty within the system as well. So we're here to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to ask, is there a motion to approve item 4?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
The Vice President?
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
You, yeah.
And, okay, so we will call the roll.
Darius Anderson,
Abstain because I have a conflict.
Arnaldo Avalos,
Abstain.
Connie Conway, Amy Costa,
Aye.
Tom Epstein,
Aye.
Jolena Grande,
Abstain.
Pam Haynes,
Aye.
Kevin Hall,
Aye.
Monfon,
Abstain.
Bill Rawlings,
Aye.
Valerie Shaw, Blas Villalobos, Alex Walker Griffin,
Aye.
Did you tally the vote?
I didn't get to vote.
I'm sorry. You didn't
Wait,
get called?
Don't I get to vote?
I am. I've missed Baum. How do I keep missing someone? Jeff, I'm sorry. Jeff Baum,
Aye.
I have 9 ayes.
Okay, the motion passes. On to item 5, board policies, business and fiscal affairs. Is that going to be, okay, here we go. Could you please identify yourselves?
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Smith with Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost. You may recall the last time I was before you was in January regarding board policies. I'm back before you again regarding board policies. This time, we're looking at some specific policies in Chapter 6, Business and Fiscal Affairs. We focused on this chapter as we're moving toward preparing for the first independent audit of the college. So we wanted to make sure that there were policies and administrative procedures in place that would be expected of the college as it moves toward the audit process. We did have a conversation with Trustee Costa about these policies and got some feedback from her, and now we're presenting these policies before you today for consideration and approval.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Julian Roberts. I'm CFO at the Foundation for California Community Colleges. I was a transfer student at Los Rios over 20 years ago. I always appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all.
My name is James Aden. I'm also an attorney with Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost.
Okay, so we don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but could you go through, well, let me ask, does the board feel the need to have a description of these policies, or have you all read it and are ready to vote? Okay, Trustee Costa.
The fiscal threshold, I've talked a lot with staff about. It's $100,000, which is, as they reminded me, authority that we previously gave as a board to Chancellor Oakley. But one of the questions I have is that our policy as the Board of Governors, we make a distinction between $100,000 and $50,000 depending on the payor, which we don't have in this policy here, which is we make a distinction if the dollar amount goes to the vendor. And I'm just wondering if anybody can talk about why we don't have something similar before us for adoption.
So the policy BP 6100, it's the first policy that's in the packet on page 30 of 60. The delegation of authority for the business and administrative services tracked the authority that had been given to the chancellor within a resolution that was approved by this board in August. And there was not a $50,000, $100,000 distinction within that. So from my perspective, that was my rationale in drafting it this way.
Any other member Rawlings?
Thank you. Under Board Policy 6200, taking a look at D, the reserve amount, I understand that 5% is what we need to keep as a minimum, but I was wondering if we took a look at other districts in ways where we might have 5% base minimum, but actually having a target that the board sets in policy. We heard from FICMET a couple of meetings ago talking about if you really had a moderate recession, you're going to need a 17% reserve. I think that probably wouldn't fly, especially as we get the employee groups online here. But I would be more comfortable with the 10% target rate. But it might be something I wouldn't say change it now, but something to keep in mind for the future is I'd want to take a look at having a target rate of 10%.
Just a brief comment on that. So the Chancellor's Office requires 5% contingency reserve. in some of our research, we saw that some of the other colleges have a 7.5% reserve, so we can certainly look into that as we move forward.
Any other board comments? Trustee Costa.
I was kind of juggling between our agendas, but the distinction on the Board of Governors side is that the $50,000 threshold is for consulting services. And just for me, that's where my level of comfort is on the fiscal threshold, because again, as we keep saying, like a broken record, we're trying to be expedient here and we don't meet regularly, so I don't want to hamstring you by having too restrictive of a fiscal threshold. But I actually like that as a Board of Governors, we make a distinction if it's for consulting services and the threshold is lower. So just for me personally, that's my level of comfort with the fiscal threshold.
Do you want to propose that as an amendment?
I want to leave it open to my fellow members because I know that's just kind of a personal thing for me, and I don't know that others share that, and so I don't want to step ahead of my colleagues.
Member Rawlings.
Yeah, I would definitely support that. The 50,000 threshold, that would be much more my comfort level. I know that it puts a little more constraint on the CEO, but especially with consulting services, I think we could move expediently on some of the contracts that we might need for consulting.
Just out of curiosity, does anybody on the panel have a what is most customary among other community college districts on consulting contracts?
A lot of the policies that I consulted in preparation for this, I was not seeing the thresholds delineated. There was some discussion with Ms. Costa about $25,000 threshold generally. So we can propose to add a sentence that would.
Okay.
I would just say.
Please please identify yourself for the record.
Hi, my name is Sajida Menon. I'm Senior Advisor to Chancellor Oakley. In the interim period before the hiring of Ms. Hiles, I served in the capacity of leading the advanced team leading into the online college and had the privilege of working through some of the early board policies, including the setting of the threshold at $100,000. Two things I think that are important to raise about that original discussion and how we ended up at $100,000, which was, in our opinion, a little bit conservative of a dollar figure. In particular, we looked at a number of the other districts in the system who had range as high as $250,000 for approving authority or delegating authority. So again, like $100,000 actually in the grand scheme of things did not seem particularly excessive, particularly for the purpose unique to this district rather than relative to other districts, confronting the fact that especially in the early days as we're onboarding the services that are required just to get things off the ground, particularly back office things and other things of that nature, that the pace of the types of contracts that we're looking at it was important for us to have a reasonable threshold to proceed on, particularly because the board ultimately retains the authority to approve contracts or to review contracts. So above $100,000, you're approving everything. Below $100,000, you have a retrospective view of the contracts that have been entered into. So unsolicited potential opportunity would be to review the contracts over the next several months and see whether you want to revisit the threshold set rather than maybe addressing it right now.
But the question, Ajita, if I may, is the distinction of fiscal threshold between vendor contracts. Can you speak to that?
Sure. So I would say I think the distinction between consulting services is particularly important as a matter for this college because some of those early services would likely be pursued on a consultancy basis. So the frequency of that contract would be greater, and having flexibility around that is going to be important from a timing perspective. The other piece of that, I think, that is not insignificant is the fact that I think the approach to reviewing what services are needed, it allows for more testing and proof of concept work upfront with professional services vendors before needing to make longer-term, more expensive, riskier fiscal decisions. So from a fiscal responsibility perspective, it makes sense from the perspective of the fact that in setting up a college like this, you're going to need, since there's such a small staff right now, greater flexibility to bring on board quickly and triage in different ways that you wouldn't have to necessarily in a district that has an infrastructure set up.
Okay. Do I have a motion on this item?
Move to approve.
Walker Griffin was the second. Please call the roll.
Darius Anderson. Yes. Arnaldo Avalos.
Aye.
Jeff Baum.
Aye.
Connie Conway. Amy Costa.
No.
Tom Epstein.
Aye.
Jolina Grande.
Aye.
Pam Haynes.
Aye.
Kevin Hall.
Aye.
Mon Fon.
Aye.
Bill Rawlings.
Aye.
Valerie Shaw. Blas Villalobos. Alex Walker Griffin.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to item number 6, the CalSTARS application related resolutions. Ms. Smith.
Thank you. This item is effectuates the college's need to apply and offer various programs within CalSTARS for eligible employees. So what we have here are 4 documents. The first is the application itself to CalSTARS. The first resolution, or the second document, is to permit the online college to make contributions for employees by means of pre-tax deductions from the employees' paychecks. The second resolution permits the college to make pre-tax deductions for an employee to pay back redeposits or previously withdrawn contributions. And the third resolution seeks to offer an alternative retirement plan called the CalSTARS Cash Balance Benefit Program for part-time substitute, adjunct, or temporary educators. We're providing this for you today for approval to allow this matter to go forward, and I have both Julian and James here to answer any additional questions the board may have.
Okay, did any board members have any questions? Okay, I believe we have a public comment.
Yes. Okay, so Lynette Niaga.
I forgot to say, for those of you who don't know me, that I am president of the Community College Association, which is the community college wing of the California Teachers Association. So I wanted to thank the board for making sure that all the faculty are covered by CalSTARS. This is really important, and I appreciate also that you are offering the cash balance program, although not requiring it, and I appreciate that because that's not legal. Sometimes people think you can do that, but you can't. But offering it to part-time adjunct faculty, because they often have work elsewhere, and they may even be full-time at a school where they have CalSTARS coverage. So they already have the defined benefit retirement program. This will give them a way to put the remainder of the retirement they earn into the cash balance program. So I wanted to say thank you, and I'm very glad you're doing this. This is good for faculty.
Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, that was Trustee Costa on the motion and Fawn on the second. All right, could you please read the roll, please?
Darius Anderson.
Yes.
Arnaldo Avalos.
Yes.
Jeff Baum.
Aye.
Connie Conway. Amy Costa.
Aye.
Tom Epstein.
Aye.
Jolina Grande.
Aye.
Pam Haynes.
Aye.
Kevin Hall.
Aye.
Mon Fon.
Aye.
Bill Rawlings.
Aye.
Valerie Shaw. She?
She's absent at the moment.
Blas Villalobos? Alex Walker Griffin?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Let's move on to item 7, approval of establishment of bank account. Ms. Smith again?
Thank you. And this item, this resolution, directs and allows the staff to establish a bank account. This is another procedure that the college needs to have in place, and a documentation that the college needs to have in place as we move toward the independent financial audit that will be beginning soon. So we need to have the ability to have the account that can be separate and also be independently audited. And again, Julian is available to answer any additional questions, should the board have any.
Any comments from the board? Okay, do I have a motion?
I move.
Vaughn and Rawlings. Please, oh, I'm sorry, Anderson. Sorry, you guys. Yeah. All right, please.
Mr. President, prior to voting, may I make an observation?
Sure, I'm sorry.
I'm a bit confused because this says consent agenda. And in my little world of understanding public meetings, consent agendas are items that we automatically vote as a collection of items, yes or no. And the items are, each item is not discussed until a board member pulls it or a member of the public pulls it. So it seems like we're discussing on all these 3 items. So whether it should be labeled as consent or not, just an observation. So to lessen the confusion, at least for me, please.
Thank you. Your board president pleads guilty of his error. And so.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
One question, just also, since this is new for all of us, if we enter into a contract or open a bank account, become customers of Bank of America, and we happen to disclose in our Form 700 that we own stock in Bank of America, does that disqualify us from being able to vote on that?
Ooh, wow. That is a good question.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, what? You have a comment? Yeah.
If you have stock in Bank of America and we're just entering into a resolution that we're going to become a client of Bank of America, does that disqualify you from voting on this?
That's an excellent question, Trustee Baum. The bottom line is that as long as you disclose your interest, you can vote on it.
Do you have to disclose your interest at the time of voting, or is the Form 700 sufficient to...
You should be disclosing it before the vote.
Okay.
And the Form 700 as well.
I happen to be a shareholder in Bank of America.
And I am a shareholder in Bank of America. Does that mean I have to abstain again?
No. Just said no. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Please call the roll.
Darius Anderson? Arnaldo Avalos?
Aye.
Jeff Baum?
Aye.
Connie Conway? Amy Costa?
Aye.
Tom Epstein?
Aye.
Jolena Grande?
Aye.
Pam Haynes?
Aye.
Kevin Hall?
Aye.
Mon Fan?
Aye.
Bill Rawlings?
Aye.
Valerie Shaw? Blas Villalobos? Alex Walker Griffin?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Before we go on to the board docs training, which obviously we're starting quite late, I think we could probably cut into our lunchtime a little bit here and maybe spend about a half hour on it. Thank you all can go. I just wanted to say one thing. I'm sorry that the commenters have left, but as I said at the beginning of this meeting, we want to move fast and not break things. We recognize that that we are taking quick action that is making some people uncomfortable, but I think it's very clear that the sense of the entire board is a complete commitment to transparency and to having no conflicts or appearance of conflicts of interest, and we will maintain that. with great integrity throughout this process, and we are all very aware that that people are watching, and that we will adhere to the highest standards on those issues. Thanks. With that, we move on to these the board docs training, which is item 9.
Good morning, Tom Epstein, Pam Haynes, and members of the board, as well as CEO Hiles. I'm Araceli Cruz. I'm the executive assistant for the online college. And last year, we presented an opportunity to look into utilizing board docs for our board materials moving forward. And so we should be joined by Merritt Brooks from Board Docs online at the moment. Merritt, can you introduce yourself? Go ahead, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hi, Merritt. We're ready to begin when you are. Can you keep talking so we can test the sound?
Can you guys hear me?
There she is. Keep talking.
Please keep talking.
Merritt, can you keep talking so we can continue to test the sound? No.
Hello, hello.
Hi, we hear you.
See if we can get ourselves connected here. Hello.
Yes, we hear you. Thank you. She can't hear us.
Let's see. Wonderful. I see that you guys can hear me. I am not hearing you guys.
I can try.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
I came back. Oh, wonderful.
It's working. Wonderful technology.
Yay, right? Good deal. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Merritt Brooks. I am an online training specialist with Board Docs, and just going to be introducing you guys to accessing your board meeting material utilizing Board Docs. Nice thing with Board Docs is that it is a cloud-based solution, and basically what that's telling us is that with your username and password, you really can access your information or log in from any device of your choosing. So if you prefer a laptop or a tablet or even your smartphone, you can log in from the Board Docs website. Just to give you a quick overview of that, there'll be a little option up here where you can log in. I'm logged in as a trainer today, so my name is temporary here. But you can log in and access your meeting material from the Board Docs website. Also, if you have the link set up on your website, your college district page, then here we can access or log in from Board Docs from this site as well. You can also save it as a favorite or bookmark it so you can get back and log in. Really just depending on your preference there, but you can always, you have multiple ways of logging in or accessing your information. Once we log in here, this landing page that we land on here, we call our featured page.
Before you go there, I'm on the internet and I don't have a login, and so I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I'm
Tom.
sorry.
He opted to use his own, so I apologize. We didn't send you, but I will give you your login.
I'm using my own.
Yeah, I think
iPad.
it
I
might be
didn't
in your
get one
email.
from them.
I'll send it to you again.
You may.
If we choose to go ahead and use our own iPad or our iPhone, and there was a request for documents, a PRA, does that mean everything on that iPad is then discoverable?
Can I answer? We asked that question before the meeting regarding personal devices, and what we were told by F3 was that it's discoverable and that they have to be able to access everything that's in board docs. It doesn't matter what device it's on. So as long as we provide them access to our meetings and our notes within board docs, we can access from any device.
But trustee, in terms of, is everything on that device discoverable? The answer is no. It's just the content that's in the board docs account.
I guess my question is, I was texting member Costa, and it was on that. Is that also discoverable?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
I don't do
for those
it.
of us who aren't logged in,
Don't.
I'm sorry if I'm the only one, but when did that come?
It came in this, well, mine came in the package.
See, I didn't get the package.
Oh, okay.
Do your first name.
So you don't have it either?
P.
No, a whole bunch of us don't have our login, so let's start with that. Okay, but I'm not the only one. There's several of us.
We can try to fix all of them. But Tom, might help you with yours then.
Sure.
It's your first initial and your last
See,
name.
yeah.
And the password is change me, and you'll be required to change it later.
For those of you that have logged in using that password of change me, under your little person up here at the top right, if you go to the upside down arrow there, you'll see there is an option there to change or update your password.
I'm trying to use my own. And, okay, now I'm there. Okay.
Where do you change the password?
Just wait, no, just
Be at the.
You're gonna kill me.
I'm
dangerous.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's changed. Yeah. Okay.
Born digitally.
Okay. Yeah. You go ahead and help the others.
People who are who are the age of 25 to 35. That's our first target market because they're born.
We're doing
just
this
knowing
in
this,
public.
in their cells.
Yeah. It had.
anyone else need help logging in? I got Arnaldo's. Okay, Mayor, I think you can continue on with the training. We'll get people caught up here.
Sounds good. Yes, under your little person icon up at that top right side, you'll see there's an upside down arrow, and you have the option there to change your password. But this initial landing page that we start on, or we see when you initially log in, we call our featured page. And the idea being that we can, or Araceli can create and manage meetings, policies, or libraries, but feature that information. And that way, that information that's featured is available on this initial landing page. So it also serves as a dashboard where you'll have easy access from any information stored under our tabs at this top right-hand side. And you can all click from this initial landing page to get to that information. For example, if we click on our featured meeting, today's meeting here, it will pull me into a dashboard here where I have the option to view or print the agenda. You'll also see on this left-hand side, our featured meeting is listed in a folder or a heading here where we see featured. We also have a heading for our years. So all of your 2019 meetings will eventually be listed down this left-hand side. And as we build and add more and more meetings here within Board Docs, we'll have access or an archive of all of those meetings accessible in bars or headings here by year, whereas all of your featured information will be up here available at the very top. You'll also see right above that is a little magnifying glass, kind of grayed out there, but you'll see it says search meetings. And so by typing in a keyword here, it does search through all meetings that you have stored within Board Docs. You'll notice that this magnifying glass or search feature here is available at the top of each page. And it'll always let you know what type of information it will be searching. For example, if I go to my 2018 or my March 18th meeting here and choose my option here in the middle to view the agenda, here is the agenda itself. Probably looks familiar to you guys as you've been working through this meeting today. And you'll notice up here at the top left now, my little magnifying glass here says search agenda. So that would search back through this particular agenda. And as I click on items over on this left-hand side, you'll see I have details along with content that populate over on this right-hand side. So we can simply click on items down this left-hand side to access that meeting material. There are also these little arrow icons. If you want to tap on those or click on those, it would jump down through the agenda items on that left-hand side. Or if you are using a device that is a touch screen, this middle page here also becomes swipeable, and you can swipe between agenda items. So a few different ways to navigate through your meeting packet just based on your preference. You'll also see these little paper icons, if you will, so letting you know where there are attachments or supporting documents within the packet. And on each item that we click on this left-hand side, we have different sections that populate here on this right-hand side. Up at the top, we have what type of item this is with any details, the subject of that item, what type of item, this is an information item. And then we have 3 different content areas here listed below. Of course, majority of your information goes within that public content area. And there is my attachment, that supporting document along with that information here. If I click on that or tap on that link there, it will pull open that information. And of course, you can review that information. It does open in a new tab up top, so you could toggle back and forth between your agenda and any supporting documents if you needed to. There's also, you'll see right below that, an administrative and an executive content area. As executive users, you all have access to all 3 areas of content. Our executive team here would be able to see any executive content, any administrative content, of course, all the public information as well. Whereas if we had information stored within this administrative content area, that is available, to the administrative team, and they can also see the public information. However, our administrative team does not see executive content. And the majority of information, of course, always available to everybody. No need for a username or password to view public information. However, you must have a username and password to view any administrative or executive information. There is also at the far right-hand side, you'll see there is a little cartoon bubble up here, if you will, where you can, ask a question or take any notes as you're reviewing your meeting packet. Once we save our notes there, you'll notice my little bubble up top turns yellow. And that way, you'll have access to those notes, or it'll indicate that there is a note on that agenda item for you to review. Now, these notes are accessible to you by your username and password from any device that you log in, from. But that way, as you're reviewing your meeting packet, if there are any notes, if there's information within a attachment here that you would like to, add into your note, I'm just going to copy that information. I can even come over here, say I had a new note, I could paste that information in here so I can remind myself of my question or my concern or whatever that may be. And again, as you add these notes here, there's a little check button that will save those notes. And then your cartoon bubble up here at the top right will turn yellow, indicating any agenda items that you do have a note on. And as you guys have been meeting today, the motion and voting is actually updated in Board Docs in live time. So these have been recorded, again, as you guys have gone through the meeting today, and then that information is available in live time along with each agenda item as those motions and votes are taking place. So really, from this featured tab here, once we log into the system itself, as you click on your meeting dates and view the agenda, all of your agenda items are listed down this left-hand side. And again, as you click through these items here, pulling up any content, supporting documents, and then anywhere that you have a note associated with that agenda item, you'll notice your little comment bubble up here turns yellow. I looked at your policies tab here. It looks like you guys have those linked out on your website where your policies are stored. So if you needed to reference a policy, you can click on that policy tab and it will take you over to where those are currently sit on your website.
Hey, Merritt, we have a question by Trustee Costa.
I'm just wondering how the votes are tallied, and the reason why is because on one of the items today, I'm listed as an abstention when I didn't abstain.
Yeah, so these votes were recorded as you guys were moving through today. As I'm guessing as you guys were doing the roll call vote, that's where those were recorded. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'll have to double check from my written notes, and also apologies, but I've been putting everything in both places and running it during the meeting, so it's a learning curve for myself as well.
But yeah, as you guys are doing the roll call vote, I believe Adisela was recording those kind of down the line as you guys were doing those votes. Also, over here under the library, we actually have 4 different sections here under the library where we are going to be adding information and building out information here. Of course, if you have any suggestions of items that you would like to have access to in the library, always encourage my board members to feel free to suggest those, because what we want to make this is easy to use, and grant you guys access to information, while you're within Board Docs viewing your meeting packets and agendas. Is there any other information that you would like to have easy access to? So we have this general section here where we can build out folders of information, share that information with the community or with the public. In that way you have easy access to it again while you're within board docs, as opposed to having to go out to a shared drive or somewhere else to access that information. We can also set up events
No, it
under
just
our
goes to
library
this.
tab. Oh, is there a question?
We're looking at the policies tab, and there doesn't appear to be anything in it. Was there supposed to be something in it?
The
You
policy,
guys right now have your policies linked out to your website. I'm guessing this is
it's
where they
linked
are.
to the December policy, so I'll update that with the current one.
Yeah, so you're correct. There is not anything stored within your policy tab as of right now. It's actually set to access an outside link. So that's why when we click on that, it's opening up a different tab where that information is linked to.
But shouldn't we have, okay, so those are just general policies that have already been approved on. That's what that tab is. But embedded within the agenda where we're voting on or discussing and voting on those would just be within
the items themselves.
There they were right here.
Is there a way that we could have? I mean, first of all, it seems like you have to be online to use any of this. There's nothing stored. There's nothing downloaded. You always have to be online to use anything on this in this board doc program. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct. Yeah, so we were actually encouraged, to not download or store information locally from your device. If there was information that was updated or changed out within the system itself, this holds kind of the master copy, if you will. So we encourage everybody to access the information within board docs. That's where we can guarantee that it's secure and the most up-to-date version of that information. But you are correct. You would need to be online to access that information. Now we can migrate your policies into board docs if you guys are interested in doing that. I'm happy to discuss those details with you guys or set up that conversation so that we can import the policies into board docs and have those, as opposed to linking to an outside link, have those policies within the system itself. So that is an option.
I don't know about everybody else, but like if you're on a plane and you want to look at something, I mean, it's nice to have access to something that is saved somewhere, and it appears like nothing on this, not even an agenda could be saved. Is that? You could go online and download it to your own device and then look at it from there. That's the solution for that.
Yeah, we actually haven't had, there's so many different ways to get on the internet these days. We haven't actually had issues with folks accessing their meeting material. You do have a print option here where you could take the detailed agenda, which would be, all of the information within the content area and everything, and save this or, as a PDF. So that is an option if you would like to access that offline. But again, we just encourage everybody to access the information within board docs.
Okay. So I would just say, this is Bill Rawlings. I would say I've used board docs before. I do just that, which is if I'm going to be traveling and I know I'm going to be traveling somewhere where I'm not sure about the internet connection, then I'll print them to PDF, store them on my device. Sometimes I can print them to PDF on the device itself, and then I'm able to take them with me and review them. And then I just make sure not to put any annotations on it. And especially as trustees, then that'll be discoverable too. So I avoid that. But that's typically how I do it. I would also mention on the board policies point that was made, I find, especially regarding as we're putting our policies, getting them up to speed, I find that board docs is a good way to do that, especially where you have governance committees that need to collaborate. I think it's a great method to do it. So I would encourage us to do that, but that'll be for the CEO.
So I have a question. I also use board docs. The league uses board docs, and I usually do the the PDF because I like to highlight, not just I like to highlight and annotate. And so my question really goes to, I see that you have an annotation little thing there, which is great, and that you can cut and paste into that. But my question really goes to, since I am a highlighter and sometimes an underliner, I use another program to do that, but it would be helpful to know if there is a way to highlight or to underline or to actually note on the document itself using Board Docs.
Right. Right now, there's actually not. We have had that requested to our development team. And the concern, or where we run into that, is that these attachments here, the information stored within Board Docs, is the master copy of that attachment or that document there. So if we have multiple board members accessing an information or accessing a document, recording, highlighting or making notes, then we could potentially have an accidental meeting in the cloud. So that's just the tricky part, but it is something that we are working on. It has been submitted to our development team. So I would say, keep on the lookout for that.
And if I can just add, Jolena, before we started the meeting, Trustee Grande had requested that to be able to make annotations directly to the PDF. And so I can show you how we were able to download it to the iPad, and then she can mark it up with her stylus, but then it's also just her local copy.
Correct. Right.
Were there any additional questions? I know we're over time about 10 minutes.
Just thank you. I actually think this is great. I'm really excited. And right now we're printing our agendas. So anything is, in my opinion, a huge leap forward. So thank you for heading this project.
And Araceli, I would say that if you could let everybody know how to download to their local devices,
Sure.
I think that seems like the big thing for people.
Happy to.
And then who's the best person to contact with questions about how to run Board Docs?
Yes.
Mary?
Yeah, of course. Here, under your little person icon up here, there is access to Board Docs help. We do offer 24/7 support and all ongoing training. So any point in time, if you have a question or need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. All of our support team works with us at Board Docs. We don't outsource our support. So if you have a question, again, it is available 24/7. Absolutely reach out anytime. And again, that was just under your little person, and then the Board Docs help.
If I wanted to talk to someone, is there a telephone call I could use?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the same. There's a phone number right here.
Okay.
And they real live people will answer your phone call.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yes, of course. Also, just to share with you guys one other search feature up here, under the magnifying glass, and again, this magnifying glass is at the top right-hand side. That is a comprehensive search of all of the information that resides within the system itself. It does search through all of your attachments, all of your content. So if you were looking for names or contracts, a company name or a dollar amount, you can search through all of the information within the site. There is also this white box here, our meta search box. And for example, if I were to type in, if I can talk and type at the same time, this meta search box here is searching outside of your information, but into the public information of all of our other Board Docs subscribers. So over 3,500 subscribers here, and I can even narrow this down by state. And again, this is all information these folks have already shared with the public. So if you were developing a new policy or wanted to see how other folks were, wording a policy or handling a project or whatever it may be, you certainly can do a search here and pull that information up. And over on this left-hand column here, you'll see there is this right pointing arrow. And that's how you close out of this search. And again, that's that meta search box there, searching out of your information, but into the public information of other Board Docs subscribers.
And I'm always available for questions and one-on-one and to make sure you're fully supported and transitioning to this. Having been here over the weekend for several hours to make these board books, I'm looking forward to not having to do that in the future. Yes, exactly. And the trees. The trees thank you as well.
Okay, are we finished with board docs, everyone? We're now online. So I guess that concludes the meeting. Do we need a motion to adjourn? I guess there could be a public forum if anybody wanted to speak. Judging from the people I see in the room, I don't think that's likely.
If not, I move to adjourn.
Okay. Do we have a second? Mr. Anderson is the second. Do we need to do a roll call on this?
No.
No. All right, we're done.
Thank you, Merritt.